Welcome back to JessTalks, the part of the show where I come out and I talk. Today's subject, as it says in the description here, or the title of the video, I suppose, is me talking about Cocomelon and children's media in general. Now, to kind of explain where I'm coming from with Cocomelon specifically, I have to explain a little bit why I even know Cocomelon and why I know the show that I'm actually going to be pairing it against. For obvious reasons, I work with kids for over 4 years now, so I'm very familiar with a lot of kids media, specifically with media that is geared towards music, dance, activities, things along that line. In the daycare, I would use music all the time for exercise purposes, getting energy out, and just having a really good time with the kids. So, what I'm talking about here comes from that. Now, real quick, before I get into a little bit more explaining on it, I do want to say that what I'm going to be talking about, my grievances with Cocomelon actually is towards media and screens in general when it comes to kids, but I'm specifically going after Cocomelon because I absolutely despise the show. Okay, so for just a little bit of context, at the daycare we would do the other rooms would do Cocomelon, and I immediately disliked it. Anytime it got put on for either background music or dance music or something, absolutely despised it. So I would be going through our stuff trying to find different musics to do, and that's how I found the Wiggles. So I'm going to be pairing the Wiggles up against Cocomelon for this. Not background music specifically, but if I needed like dance music or just some fun music to put on, I would always opt for the Wiggles and not for Cocomelon, because it drove me so bananas. Now, take it a few years later, or about a year later, I actually go online and look both of them up, because at this point I've only known them auditorily via the noise, the music, and everything. So I go and I look them up, and I fall more in love with the Wiggles, and I end up despising Cocomelon even more. So, that said, let's dive into this. Let me explain where it is that I'm coming from with all of this stuff. I have spent quite a few months now trying to put down in words and figuring out exactly why it is, and why it is that Cocomelon drives me absolutely bananas. Now, I have quite a few ideas, theories, and everything. I'm gonna go with, first off, why it is that sorry, I've got my notebook down where the camera can't see it with all my notes and everything, and so if you see me fiddling or looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at my notes. I'm just looking at my book. So what first made me against Cocomelon was it was so brainwashing. It put the music on and it was just the same. It wasn't the same song necessarily, but it was the same tone and the same beat and the same set of words, and it was just, even though technically the songs are different, they're about different topics and everything, it was the same tone and music set and pace, and it was just the same over and over and over again, which is so incredibly annoying as the listener. Now, going on and actually watching some of the Cocomelon, seeing it visually, the same thing. What it is about Cocomelon that just is so wrong. The first one going to be, or not the first one, but one of the ones that's going to be is the color saturation on it. With the Cocomelon, the color saturation is at such a high intensity that it is so visually overstimulating. There is just so much with it, and then it's a fast-paced. The clips in between every scene and everything. It is so fast-paced. It is so, I can't think of a better word than brainwashing, that kids get so involved, so enticed with it. They get hypnotized and everything with it, and there are so many people online going after it and being like, hey, my kid, we cut Cocomelon out of my kid's life and they are 3 times happier. which is just like all sorts of crazy. Now, with that specifically has a lot to do with screen time as well. Again, a lot of what I'm going to be saying about Cocomelon specifically has a lot to do with screens in general. A lot of kids media, especially today, follows very similar patterns and just very similar, mind-dumbingly stupid. And yes, I know it's kids shows, it's going to be dumb, it's not going to make a lot of sense, it's not going to be fun for the adults to watch, except that's not necessarily true. I grew up with some of the kids shows and I absolutely still love them as the adult, but then again, I am talking about Cocomelon and the Wiggles, and I absolutely love the Wiggles as an adult as well. So I mean, maybe my opinion's a little askew on this, but it really is. It's just so dumb. Originally, I was going to title this video, Kids Aren't Dumb, Why I Hate Cocomelon. Cocomelon is so degrading. I can't think of a better word than that. It is so degrading to the child who is watching it. It is absolutely ridiculous how numbing and brainwashing it is. There is a difference between talking down to kids and talking to kids. There's a difference between gearing your stuff to look down and be dumb and hey, I know better, which I mean, I guess you do because you're an adult and the kid's a kid, but there's a difference between it there for something being childish and something being for kids. There's a great difference there, a divide there. That said, my comparison with the Wiggles, I like them so much because they are so different, I guess. Again, I got into them because I didn't want to put Cocomelon in my classroom. So I would put the Wiggles on instead. And the Wiggles, they're so cool because the whole point of them is that they promote movement and music and getting up and dancing and learning different dances. And they just promote basically movement in kids, which is one reason that I think sets them apart from other kids media, and especially Cocomelon, that their whole point is to get the kids up and dancing and movement, working on their cognitive, working on their hand-eye coordination, they're dancing, they're moving, and all that stuff. And then a lot of their songs are just plain fun. I don't know why, but they're so fun. And they are colorful, but their color saturation is so different compared to Cocomelon's. Cocomelon's is such a, I don't want to say like a one shade, but it basically is. It's this one blanket of a certain saturated color, where the Wiggles, they're colorful, but they have a lot of different colors going on. They've got quite the balance, especially in their like their TV shows and their movies. They have a lot of background stuff that kind of helps balance out the really bright clothing that they wear. Now, their live shows are a little bit different when it comes to that, but they're live shows, so it's understandable that it's a little harder to control the coloring and everything. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have color. That's actually absolutely not what I'm saying. You need color for kids. Color helps kids develop their brain, especially younger infants. It helps them grow and knowledge and everything. Other things with Cocomelon and some of the other medias that I like and that I enjoy doing, and if you hear dogs barking outside, I apologize. Other kids media, other things that I kind of would promote and everything. Other reasons why I dislike Cocomelon is it doesn't teach you anything, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah, they have a lot of episodes where they do like, hey, this is what happens when you get a cut. You gotta wash it, put a band-aid on, and stuff like that, and how to wash your hands, and hey, sugar's bad for you. But not entertaining and not cool, I guess. I can't think of a better way to do that. Or at least with the Wiggles, they'll put in fun movements with their how to wash hands. They did. It was actually kind of weird how they did that segment. But at least they put fun movements in, and it's a catchy beat. You know, you can't do anything with Cocomelon songs. You can't dance to them. You can't put them on as background music because you will drive yourself nuts. It drives the kids nuts. It's not great. With the education, there's other ones out there that I think are way better with education. I've recently rediscovered the Octonauts. I think that's a really fun show. It's full of a lot of color and laughter and characters, but it's actually pretty educational when it comes to sea creatures and the ocean in general. It has all sorts of fun. And then I actually grew up with VeggieTales, and boy howdy did I learn so much things about morals and people and the Bible, obviously, with VeggieTales. Also have really fun music that you can sing along to. I don't know if you can dance to a lot of VeggieTales music. I've never thought about that until just now, but some of the songs you can like really jam to. But if nothing else, there's a lot of ones that are fun to sing, and you get the fun visuals with them as well. So VeggieTales is a good one. On the flip side with that, I don't think kids media has to necessarily always be educational. I think a good chunk of it should be educational, or a good chunk of it should be educational, should be promoting things, put the Wiggles on to get your PE in, your dancing, and then go and get some VeggieTales and the Octonauts in there to get your sea creatures and your Bible lessons in. Just as examples, But I don't think that the kids media and all of it has to necessarily be educational. I don't think that's important. Well, not important. I don't want to say that. I just don't think it's necessary. I think there are kids medias out there that can just be plain fun. Cocomelon's not fun. No one has fun watching Cocomelon. Even the kids don't. They just get into this like trance where they're just staring at the screen. They're not smiling. They're not laughing. They're just like, they're like a zombie, and it's actually really, really creepy. And kind of concerning if you think about it. But it's just, Cocomelon's not fun, where there's other kids media that is just plain fun. One of them for me is Scooby-Doo. I loved Scooby-Doo as a kid, and I love it even more now that I'm older. I don't know what it is about that show, but I absolutely adore it. It's not educational in any way, shape, or form, but it's just plain fun. And it's just like, I put it on to turn the brain off, And for the kids, it can be that way too. As a kid, I always felt so smart when I could figure out who it was, who the bad guy was, who done it, basically. And then when I started to pick up that there was a pattern with Scooby-Doo, like, hey, the first person you meet is probably going to be the person behind the mask, I felt so smart with that too. I was always like, yes, I know it. I got your pattern. I know what you're doing. So it was fun, and then I always felt just so smart and like clever and everything. So Scooby-Doo is a great example for that. And in more recent years, Phineas and Ferb, same thing, not really educational. You can jam to some of their songs. They got some good jamming songs, but they're another one where you just put on to be like, you know what, let's have a good time. Let's just watch just for the sake of watching this and having fun. I can't think of a better word to describe Cocomelon than brainwashing. The music is the same. It's the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. The colors are the same. It's so fast-paced. It is set up to be addictive to the child who watches it. It is ridiculous how much that the Cocomelon has influenced everyone. You can go online and find so many parents saying the things on Cocomelon that we stopped watching it and my kid is happier. A lot of doctors being like, Cocomelon is actually kind of stunting the brain growth, the education, and it's because there's nothing in it. There's nothing to grow and learn and have fun and do anything with. As much as I like Scooby-Doo or the Wiggles or Phineas and Ferb or any of the other ones, I don't think your kids should be watching hours and hours of it, because they will very quickly turn into the same thing as they do with watching Cocomelon. That's a big one. It's overstimulating for everybody, for the parents, for the kids. Just like everybody, it's so overstimulating, it's ridiculous. I don't know quite what the point of this video is, I suppose. I think the main point is stop watching Cocomelon. Please stop watching Cocomelon. If you need something for music, you need your kids to dance, do the Wiggles. If you need something educational, I don't know, find the Octonauts. There's a couple other ones that I think were really educational. For the most part, I'm okay with Sesame Street as well. They're really educational. Go watch Elmo and Big Bird and Cookie Monster. Don't do Cocomelon. Please don't do Cocomelon. And if you need something just plain fun to watch, I don't know, do Scooby-Doo, do Phineas and Ferb. Just find something else. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to anyone, and it's not worth it to your kid, to your child. They don't need to be addicted to something at the age of 3 or younger. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I would love to hear from you down in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on Cocomelon, your opinion on media and general kids media and all that stuff. So drop a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.